Hello world, Shelly here, and today we are going to do an eye look out of the beloved Mel Thompson Sydney Grace Tiny Marvels eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to decide what look I'm going to do using my Roll a Look app. I have recently launched my new Patreon campaign, which gives you a variety of ways to interact with me. You can kick me a few dollars if you enjoy my work. It helps me to continue to create content and to afford all of the products I purchase to use on this channel, and all the way through different levels of perks, one of which includes access to the apps that I'm building, the first of which I have released as the eyeshadow app, Roll a Look. It has eyeshadow palettes in it where you choose a palette, it will generate an eye look for you, and you can use this for fun. You can use it for determining color schemes. They are all mathematically formulated, calculated to be in harmony with the color wheel. And so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to do an eye look generated by the app. So I'm going to choose the Tiny Marvels palette. I'm adding new palettes to this all the time. Let me know in the comments if there is a palette that you would like to see added. And let's choose our lid color. Let's see, I've been using, I did Marvel last time. I think, let's just go with the one that I absolutely love, Scarab. It is a gorgeous duochrome, and, ooh, it's going like dark and moody in this look. Okay, okay. Here's what it shows we are gonna do. We're gonna do a moody one here. That's okay, I'm moody myself. So let's start. I like to use my favorite eyeshadow brush for putting down crease and transition is the Wayne Goss number 3, which, of course, why can I not find it? It's hiding, my Wayne Goss number 3. So we'll start with Flutterby. That is like the peachy toned shade in this palette. And when I do my crease transition, I start out putting the point of the brush into the crease of my lid and kind of, anchoring it in there, and then doing the windshield wiper motions. On the outer corner, I do little swirly swirls, and I just do that whole thing so that going up toward the brow, it's a little bit lighter and more diffused, whereas in the depth of the crease is where it's the deepest. And I will typically come back toward the end of the eye look and just refresh some of this, because once I go into the crease with a darker shade, sometimes you lose a little bit of the transition that's going on there. But this brush is just perfect. I have somewhat hooded lids and it fits nicely. It's super soft. It just blends wonderfully. It's my favorite transition brush of life. I've never found anything I like more. Sigma E25, another one of my ride or die holy grail brushes. This is my crease brush. In the crease, we are going to use the shade Death Moth, which is a wonderfully neutral, maybe leaning slightly cool taupe. Oh, Ziva, you gotta stop scratching my chair. She is destroying my vanity chair. Should I zoom you guys in a little bit? Let me zoom you in a little bit, and you can see my eyes a little better. All right. Death Moth. This is the first time I'm using this shade, actually. I've had this palette for about a week now, and I've been wearing it every single day. I had a few Sydney Grace duochrome single shadows, but I did not ever have their mattes before. And I have to say, I am very much enjoying their mattes. So I like to keep the depth of the color to the outer corner and then take whatever's left toward the inner corner. Now some people can do like a full crease to the center of their lid, and I just look weird when I do that. So I try to just blend a little bit of color there so it doesn't harshly stop, but I can't put full color there. It just looks really strange on my eye shape. It is what it is. if you've ever wanted to experiment with eyeshadow and kind of figure out some of these things about your own eye shape, my favorite way to do this is, you know, not when you're getting ready for work or getting ready for your day. I like to sit down but right before I go to bed, right before I'm going to wash my face, and play with makeup, because then there's absolutely no pressure. If you do something that you don't like, you're going to wash it off in a few minutes anyway. And you just don't have that, like, if you're trying to get ready for work, for example, and you're like, what if I do an eye look and I do something that looks ridiculous and I don't have time to wash my face? So then I feel like you inhibit your creativity by worrying about having to look presentable. And when you do it this way and you do it right before bed, you don't have to look presentable. You're gonna wash it off anyhow. All right, once I do my crease like that, then I settle, because I apply with my brows lifted, settle my eyes down, look in the mirror, and make sure that the spot right above the hood that likes to not hold shadow for me, right there on this eye in particular. This eye does it a little bit, but not as much. And with my eyes relaxed, just make sure you've got equal lift to that outer corner. That might just be unique to the anatomy of the hoods of my lid. I don't know. It could be. All right, now we've got the inner third and the lid. We're going to use that duochrome shade, which I'm kind of excited because duochromes, I actually do that quite a bit. I do that regularly because they're duochrome, like the way your eye curves and the way you're positioned and the angles people are talking at you, like the way they see you, it's going to look like different colors. So I don't mind doing 2/3 of my eye with a duochrome because it's just going to look different the whole way around. Oh yes, this is so pretty. It's kind of like, in some light it's green and in some it's like coppery. It's so pretty. I love duochrome shadows. This has a gorgeous like reddish undertone, and red and green being compliments on the color wheel, they are just a really fun relationship of colors. So I'm really glad that that is what this one is, because I don't have anything quite like it. I have several duochrome shadows that shift to a copper, but none that have sort of a green tinge to them as their second color. So I'm pretty stoked about this one. I focus on the inner third, and then I come back and get the center of the lid and bring it that way. We are probably going to touch up a little bit as we put our outer corner shade in there, but oh, I just love this because you can, depending what colors you're using with it, you can kind of make it deeper by what we're doing, like this particular look. You can make it lighter by lightening up what you're doing around it, because I've worn this shade already several times, but without the deep darker crease, and I like that. I like flexibility. All right, this is, oh, that's another one. That's my 19. My Wayne Goss number 20 is my final, my 3 ride or die brushes. These are the 3 that I need in my life. This is my outer corner brush. So let's see. Outer third, it says to use Spider. That is the dark brown in this palette. When I do my outer third, I do it like Nisha from Sugar Puff and Fluff says, the outer 7. A lot of makeup artists will say outer V, but when you have hooded lids that droop down, you don't want to do a V that's going to end up drooping. You want, think of a 7. Think of a number 7. And that way, well, in this case, then I forget which way the 7 goes, but one side's reversed and one side's normal. Is this the normal side? I don't even remember. When you think too much about something, like, I don't know which way the 7 goes. Which way does the 7 go, you guys? I don't know. Once I've got the 7 in place, then I blend inward on the lid and blend inward very lightly, only about 2/3 of the way in my crease. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This is my less cooperative side. And, you know, your eyes are like cousins. They're not twins. Just like your eyebrows and everything else. They're not going to be exactly the same on either side. It's just not going to happen. And once you're okay with that, life just becomes much easier. This is dark and moody. Dark and moody. Dark and moody. Alright, I do the same thing. Relax my eyes, look in the mirror. Make sure that I've got equal height to the outer corner on both sides. When possible. It's never going to be exact. And the shape is never going to be exact on me because of my hoods are not evenly weighted one side to the other. One's heavier than the other, so it is what it is. I'm not worried about it. All right. Actually, I'm going to trade my 20 for the 19, which is similar brush. It's just a little bit bigger. And I'm going to clean it off in my color switch. And I'm going to go back to Flutterby, that shade we had used for the transition. And I'm just going to take it super lightly, so lightly that I'm like barely touching my skin on the very edge of the brown. I mean, I am barely even touching my skin. And I'm just circular. I just want to soften that edge and bring back the tiniest bit of that color. See how we did that? It just softens things a little bit, gives you a little more blend. This eye is like my nemesis. It is what it is. I really like this color combination. Thank you, math. Alright, now I'm just gonna blendy blendy. Just blendy blendy. Making sure it's coming in. If you feel like you went too far, which sometimes I do, go back in. Oh, did I tell you what brush this was? My flat brush? It's my Smith 253. That's, alright, so I have 4 ride or die brushes. 3, 4, 3. Wayne Goss number 3, Wayne Goss number 20, Sigma E25, Smith 253. If I could never have any other eye brushes in my life, those would be the 4 I would have. Alright, I'm taking Scarab again just to wiggle over the seam of the darkness. The seam of the darkness. Sounds like it should be like a novel or something. Again, barely touching my lid. This I'm just trying to give us a good blend. Give us a good transition between the colors. This is so moody. So moody. Alright, now I probably want this brush too. This is my Wayne Goss number 5. I'm going to take the Flutterby shade that was our transition and just take a little bit under the lower lash line. And I'm going to take that most of the way. Now, I don't have lower lash line or brow bone highlight in the app because not everybody wears them, and I don't always wear those 2 placements, but if so, if you do want to wear them, you really can just dual purpose. Like, I wouldn't go in with a whole nother color. I always match what's going on, unless I'm doing like one of those bold pops of color kind of a looks, where the only bold color is on the lower lash line. But I just take my transition, and then if I want something darker, then I'm going to go into Spider now, which was our outer third, just one boop, one dip into it, and just get the very outer corner and connect it up here to the upper lash line. And that's just to give a little bit of depth, like a little bit of something something, little cohesion from the upper to the lower. I don't bring the dark very far in, you know. I'm just trying to connect them a little bit. That's all. All right, that is the eyeshadow. I am going to add a little bit of inner corner because I can't resist, and I think I am going to do my brow bone. So in the Tiny Marvels palette, my favorite shade, this is just some random brush. What is this? Crown C513. The top corner shade Web, that bright, slight shimmer shade, is really good. It's not quite white. It's really good for a brow bone highlight. And because it's not quite white, it's like dramatic enough, but it's not super dramatic. It just gives lift to the area. So I like to keep it in the arch of my brow and then blend it a little toward the center of my face and a little toward the outside, but I don't take it too far. It's primarily in the arch. And it makes such a difference. When I forget to do it, I'm actually sad because it gives so much lift to the eye. And I need lift, you guys. Gravity is coming for me. And inner corner. There we go. Why does this side look brighter than that side? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? All right, all we got left is Tightline and Mascara. This is the Pat McGrath Labs Permagel pencil. It's not my favorite. It's just not my favorite, but I ran out of my KVD, and I ran out of my Age Perfect pencil, and I ran out of my Urban Decay pencil, and I ran out of my Flower Beauty. I actually lost my Flower Beauty pencil. So until I get another one, I'm stuck using what I got laying around. And what I got laying around is my not favorite Pat McGrath pencil. It just doesn't stay in my waterline. Even though it's supposed to be permagel, is what they call it. It does not stay on me. Let's curl these lashes, shall we? Alright, mascara decision. That's Baby Kitten. Can you hear her? That's Charlie. She's named after Kelly McGillis's character Charlie in the original Top Gun. And she's unhappy that I'm ignoring her. But I'm not going to acknowledge her because she might have just heard me say her name. She's actually very smart. Should we try a new mascara or should I do something I already know I love? I've been digging the heck out of this Lawless One and Done. It has been my go-to lately for bolder looks. Merit's mascara for less bold looks has been my other go-to lately. But I just picked up the Caliray little mini Come Hell or High Water. And I love the name of it because I say that a lot. And let's just try it. Let's just try new things. Let's try new things. I love the Caliray primer, the face primer, and I wasn't such a huge fan. What was it I tried? Was it a foundation or a BB cream? This is a nice mascara. That is one coat, y'all. That's some. All right. I think I like it. My favorite mascara is a look that is deep and voluminous at the root of the lash, but then looks like you have a gazillion lashes, like lots of separation, length. I don't want them all clumped together. I want to look like I have a lot of lashes. Quantity, a lot of lashes. And this is doing that. You know, it's a little bit of, I don't want to say clumping is a bad thing, but you know, you get a little bit of that to make the voluminous look, to make that wall of lashes. But it's when it's so clumpy, it starts looking like spider legs, and like that's just weird. That's not my look. It looks good in like a nice 60s like Twiggy vibe, but I don't wear that look very often, so that's not really my jam. I am the girl that does use a separate lower lash line mascara. My former favorite was the Estee Lauder Zero Smudge, Double Wear Zero Smudge. It's still fantastic. I've been digging and crushing on the MAC Extended Play Giga Black lately, but I love them both. And I use a separate mascara for the lower lashes because most mascaras transfer on me, although the Merit one does not. My lower lashes are so long that they touch my face when I look down. And then that always transfers mascara to my face. So, this eyeshadow palette does not have a ton of fallout. I've got a little tiny bit of fallout that I need to brush away. And my fallout brush has gone missing. My goodness. Where did it go? Really? Really? You ever have those days where you know it's sitting right in front of you and you just can't see it? Nope, that's not it. I'm gonna use a foundation brush, I guess. Let's get rid of the fallout. All right. Oh, I'm gonna need to put something on my lips. All right, let me zoom these back out. I'm gonna need something on these lips. What should I wear? Can I go red with this? We're doing the whole green and red thing. All right. I got red sitting here. This is Color Street. What is the shade name? Holly. This is one of the diamond dusted lipsticks, so it's got some shimmer to it. Ooh, I like red with it. This red, that was a good choice, I think, y'all. All right, here's the finished look. What do you think? I'm in love with this palette. I do believe that when you buy this palette, you still get, Mel's family still gets the proceeds from the sales of this palette. So check out Sydney Grace. I will link it down below. She's just been on my mind lately, and so that's what kind of has me all going about the whole Tiny Marvels thing. All right, here's my moody look for the day. So check me out on Patreon if you're interested in connecting or supporting my channel in that way. You can also gain access to the app through Patreon. It is patreon.com/geekoutofwater. Surprise, surprise. Follow me on the socials. If you're not following me on Instagram, I post stuff over there. DM me over there. That is the easiest way to get in touch with me because, you know, YouTube comments, the conversation is hard to carry on. I can see them one time and I can reply one time, but then the conversation gets lost and the comment management in YouTube is just not very good. So find me over on Instagram if you want to chit chat. Join the Patreon. There's a Discord chat channel as well. And I appreciate all of you. Pick up Tiny Marvels if you haven't already. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.